At a global climate summit over the weekend, nearly all the world's nations agreed plastic waste is a huge problem. We all know that. But they failed to reach an agreement on how to deal with it, and they're the experts. America is the biggest offender on the planet, unfortunately, generating about 97 billion pounds of plastic waste every year. Go USA. And plastic cups from Starbucks are a major contributor to that pollution. 75% of the company's business, as you know, is cold drinks, typically served in the plastic cups. Now, Starbucks does encourage customers to place those cups in recycling bins, but CBS News discovered most of those cups never get recycled. National environmental correspondent, that's David Schechter, has the story.
Which way is he going? He's going right.
Staking out Starbucks dumpsters and trailing garbage trucks like a detective is not Jandel's actual job.
You're right up on him.
I have to be because, David, I lost him once.
Del is an anti-plastic activist and a former member of the California Statewide Commission on Recycling.
I don't think he's made us.
Oh,
David,
gosh.
I don't think he's made us.
He made us a half hour ago.
And she's not just following the trucks. Del also puts tracking devices inside plastic cups and puts them in recycling bins inside Starbucks stores. She dropped 8 in Orange County, California, and all of them ended up here at the landfill.
That white pile is exactly where these things have come.
Is Starbucks misleading its customers?
I think it's pretty simple, David. If they say, there's a recycle bin, you put a plastic cup in it, and instead, that plastic cup gets picked up by a trash truck and goes to a landfill, they're not telling the truth.
To expand on Jan's work, our CBS journalists across the country dropped cold drink cups with trackers attached inside into recycling bins at Starbucks locations. Some never generated a signal, but 36 did, and we tracked those cups until they stopped. Here's what we found. 14 trackers last pinged at landfills. Another 13 went to waste transfer stations, places that don't recycle plastic. They compact trash before sending it to a landfill. 5 ended up at incinerators that burn trash, and only 4 pinged at locations that accept recycling.
What's your reaction to that?
That is unacceptable. It's disappointing.
Amelia Landers is Vice President of Product Innovation at Starbucks.
I think you're making a promise to the customer that this is going to get recycled. Are you being honest with the customer?
What we're focused on is what we can control, which is the education for our customers.
Like clearly labeling recycling bins with what goes inside them, even though some customers will contaminate bins with trash. Ultimately, she says, the company can only control what happens inside its stores.
Once it leaves our store, there are a number of elements that can come into play that don't guarantee that it lands up in the right place.
We met Landers at Starbucks headquarters in Seattle. This innovation lab inside a warehouse space includes a full working store.
This is where we at Starbucks build, test, design, iterate, and innovate.
Starbucks has committed to cutting its waste in half by 2030. As part of that, it will put your drink into your own reusable cup. And at the lab, the company developed this, a new single-use cup made with up to 20% less plastic.
It's taking over 13 million pounds of plastic out of the landfill every year.
We asked Jandel about that.
I feel like if you see it, you own it and you know better.
Because she's also a chemical engineer, and she's concerned that Starbucks' new and improved cup is still made of number 5 polypropylene plastic, a material that is difficult and expensive to recycle.
Show me the factory in America where there's a whole bunch of cups going through and getting recycled, and they can't show you.
Can that cup actually be recycled?
Yes, our cups are designed to be recycled.
Where do you recycle a number 5 plastic cup?
There are recycling facilities that do recycle number 5 polypropylene.
But not very much of it. The latest EPA report on plastics recycling found the U.S. generated 320 million pounds of number 5 plastic cups and plates, but recycled less than 1% of it. And as we've learned, most of the cups we tracked simply ended up as waste.
Ooh, David. Jan Dell is on the case. We're very glad to say that David has joined us at the table. Welcome.
Great to be
here. A lot of questions, especially for Starbucks. I notice now that you can bring in your mug.
Yes.
And they will refill it for you.
Yeah, I did.
Is that part of you did it today?
This morning. I brought this in this morning to Starbucks. They will refill it.
Is that part of their solution, do you think, to this?
A lot of people don't do it or don't even know about it, but they do offer that.
And, you could buy a CBS Mornings mug at the CBS News store and then take that to Starbucks. But, David, my question is, this is not a Starbucks problem alone.
Yeah,
this is an America problem.
That's right.
So how widespread is the idea of recycling? You think you're doing the right thing as a customer and it going to a landfill.
I think they call it the myth of recycling. We want to feel good about recycling. We want to use these cups and put them away. There's so many problems riddled with these cups. It's not just Starbucks. It's all these places. But Starbucks likes to think if they can figure out a solution like those plastic cups they talked about, that it's possible that others will follow. But nothing is really being recycled from that number 5 plastic.
Weren't you surprised to see that too?
Yes, I was. I mean,
Yeah.
that she says, it's designed to be recycled, right? And that's true. It is designed to be recycled. But in reality, there's no market for that plastic, and they're certainly not turning it back into plastic cups.
Ooh, I find the problem with recycling is I show up with like a wrapper, a fork, a cup, and then I get to the counter and I can't figure out which bin it goes to, and you're reading like a hieroglyphics chart, and then your kids are bothering you, and then I just throw it somewhere and I go.
Right, and so that's sort of recycling. One of the knocks on recycling is they make it our problem. Like, as the consumer, we're supposed to figure it out, and really, we're not equipped to deal with this massive problem.
You hear that? I'm not equipped. David, thank you very much. I appreciate it.